From Ticker, this is Brand Builders with Trevor Young.
G'day and welcome to Brand Builders. I'm your host, Trevor Young. Ripper show today. First up, we'll have David Meerman Scott will be joining us from the US. David is the best-selling author of the book, The New Rules of Marketing and PR. Now, this is the Bible of social media and content marketing, having sold 400,000 copies since it was first published in 2007. David is also a leading global marketing speaker, a strategist and advisor to emerging companies. Welcome, David.
Hey, it's great to be here. How you doing, Trevor?
Good, thanks, David. Terrific to have you on the show. Now, the 7th edition of The New Rules of Marketing and PR has just been released, hot on the heels of the recently released Fanocracy. That's the new one. And the Fanocracy as well. You're a tad busy.
It's really interesting that the 7th edition of The New Rules and my new book, Fanocracy, both came out within a few months from each other. But you were there from the very beginning with the New Rules of Marketing and PR. You read the earliest edition back in 2007, and
I still have
now
it.
we're
There
on the
it is.
7th. And ooh, that's a collector's item you're holding in your hands,
item.
right?
Yes. Well, it's a bit
and
of it's a bit of a gold standard.
What we both noticed, Trevor, because you were in the thick of it then as well, I remember, is that marketing and public relations totally changed. We went from having to buy attention through advertising or having to beg the media to write about us to going to the ability to create content that helps to market our businesses. It was transformational. And that hasn't changed over the last 13 years since that book was first published. But there's new tools constantly popping up, new ways we can reach people.
Yeah, so how much of the original book is left by the time you've got to the 7th edition?
I bet you it's probably, 10% is from the original edition, but the strategies are all the same, which is interesting.
Yeah, I think that's the thing when you're trying to explain to people that a lot of that is very similar. But the tools obviously, and even if we look at the titles of the book, this one is How to Use News Releases, Blogs, Podcasting, Viral Marketing, and Online Media to Reach Buyers Directly. That was in 2007. I haven't got the new one with me, but I'll read it out.
I'll read the new one. The new one is The New Rules of Marketing and PR, How to Use Content Marketing, Podcasting, Social Media, AI, Live Video, and Newsjacking to reach buyers directly. So there's a lot of new stuff in there. AI, social media, live video, newsjacking, that wasn't in the 7th edition, that edition that you're showing in your hands there.
So what is catching your eye at the moment when it comes to all this space, marketing and PR? Obviously, we're sort of still in the pandemic era, but around about this year, what's been taking your eye?
What's most interesting to me right now is the idea of fans, the idea that any organization can develop fans. I just think that's the coolest thing. And I learned about this idea. It's the subject of the book Fanocracy that you just mentioned. I learned about this idea 40 years ago because I started to go to live music. I've been to 804 live music shows in my life, 75 Grateful Dead concerts, which is absolutely crazy. And 5 years ago, I started to talk with my daughter, Reiko. She's now 27 years old. At the time, she was 22. And I said, gosh, it's crazy that I'm a Grateful Dead fan and been to 75 Grateful Dead shows. And I'm a massive Harry Potter fan. I've seen every movie multiple times. I've read the books multiple times. She even wrote an 80,000 word alternative ending to the Harry Potter series where Draco Malfoy is a spy for the Order of the Phoenix and put that on a fan fiction site. So we both have the same idea of what fandom is. And our thesis was, can any organization develop fans? 5 years of research, absolutely no question that any organization can build fans. So I think that's just the coolest thing, that anybody can develop fans of their business.
But it takes a bit of mindset Dave, doesn't it? I mean, yes, there's all the tools and that side of things, but at the heart of it is a willingness to connect with your audience again and again, and to keep that connection. I was just talking to Aaron Young at the top of the hour just before about how companies are always trying to get new clients, new people, new leads all the time.
Yeah.
But they tend to forget the customers they've already got. What's your thinking on that?
No, I think that's absolutely right. I think what happens is that so many organizations, I think the biggest challenge they have is they tend to focus too much attention simply on their products and services. And what we learned in doing the research on this idea of fandom is that people absolutely have better relationships with the people in the companies. So if you're a business owner, you're an entrepreneur, it's much better to focus on the relationships with your customers than the products and services that you sell to them. And that's just true of any organization. And we found examples all up and down in terms of companies that develop fans. A lot of people pushed back on us. Oh, we can't develop fans. We're a B2B company, or we're a government agency, or we're a nonprofit, or I'm a doctor or a dentist. I can't develop fans. And we found examples of all kinds of organizations that have built fans. We found an auto insurance company, and I jokingly ask people, do you love your auto insurance company? How about you, Trevor? Do you love your auto insurance company?
I actually don't even know who it is.
I don't even know who it is. That's even worse. And so we found one called Haggerty Insurance. And Nikhil Haggerty, the CEO, told me, David, I can't market my business like other insurance companies. I don't want to be the low-cost provider. I don't want to focus on spending a whole bunch of money on advertising. So he went out to build fans. They do classic car auto insurance. So they now go to over 100 classic car events a year in North America. They have a YouTube channel with 1 million subscribers. Can you imagine an automobile insurance company with a YouTube channel that has 1 million subscribers? And they have a drivers club where people can meet online to meet with other like-minded people who love classic cars. They're now the largest classic car insurance company in the entire world. They're going to grow by 200,000 new customers this year. They've had double-digit growth since the beginning. And it's all based on developing fans. And they're in a product category that people either don't know what company they work with, like you, or hate because people hate to buy insurance.
Well, it's a grudge purchase. And what are they're the tactics? When you talk to them, what's something that they've said that really is working for them? Or is it a combination of just that willingness to be out there and connecting as human beings and getting closer to their customers?
That's really what's been working for them and for a lot of the companies that we spoke with. One of the things we did, Trevor, that was so cool is I didn't want it to just be making stuff up. I wanted to really have it rooted in science. So my daughter, Reika, who I mentioned is my co-author on this book, and we're a great team because we're different genders, we're different generations, we love different things. But she's a neuroscientist. She graduated from Columbia University with a degree in neuroscience, and then she went on to medical school. She just graduated from medical school. So we spoke with a bunch of neuroscientists to understand what's going on in our brains when we become a fan of something. And it turns out every single person, all of us, are hardwired to want to be part of a tribe of like-minded people. And so when you're with your tribe, it goes back to our ancient DNA. That's when you feel safe and comfortable, when you're with your tribe. And if you're outside of your tribe, you feel uncomfortable. And in fact, there's a neuroscientist named Edward T. Hall who talked about different levels of proximity, how far you are away to other people. If this wasn't a COVID-19 lockdown, then if you get people who are within 4 feet of you, cocktail party distance, that's where the most powerful human relationships happen. And if you're with people that you know and you like, you're part of your tribe, you're part of a group of people who love the same thing, then that's a very positive, powerful connection. If you're in a crowded elevator and you don't know the people, that can be a negative connection. So the challenge we have as businesses is how can we get people to be physically close to us? But you might say, David, how can we get physically close? There's a pandemic. And so there's another form of neuroscience that actually explains why the use of video, what we're doing right now, video, is something that's incredibly powerful for brands. So I'm going to demonstrate the concept of mirror neurons. You ready for this, Trevor?
Here we go.
A demonstration. So mirror neurons are the part of our brains that fire when we see somebody doing something, and our brains fire as if we're doing it ourselves. And I have a lemon and a slice of lemon here. Now, if I take a bite of the slice of lemon, wow, it's really powerful. It makes my eyes close. My eyes are watering a little bit. My mouth puckers up. I can feel it on my tongue and my lips, and my saliva is running. It's like really powerful to bite into a lemon. But Trevor, you're feeling that lemon too, right, mate?
Well, it does. It's a powerful. Yep, I can feel the lemon.
I'm 10,000 miles away from you. You're feeling the lemon. I'm in Boston, Massachusetts. Now, here's where this becomes interesting for building fans, because I'm cropping a video. You're cropping a video where I'm about 4 feet away from the camera. Now, I'm 10,000 miles away from you, but your brain tells you that your mirror neurons tell you that you're actually in the same room with me. That's why you think you know movie stars. You intellectually know that you've never met that movie star. You don't know who that movie star is, but your brain tells you you know Tom Cruise because you've seen them as if they're 4 feet away on a screen. Now, that becomes really powerful for building fans. Haggerty and many other companies, by using video and using video cropped in this way, looking at the camera, it doesn't have to be professionally shot. Very, very powerful stuff to build fans.
And so, I mean, you've talked about video over a long period of time, and obviously, you know, now we've been doing a lot of Zoom calls and that. Have you, obviously, you're going to over-index or double down on video. Is that some advice that you're giving companies? Is with this in mind to really go all out in video, and with that, I suppose live streaming is part of that.
I am actually. Lots of video is really important right now, especially because of the pandemic. Especially right now because we can't get out and meet our existing and potential customers. So I'm telling people that there's 3 basic ways to use that I really like. One basic way is that you have video on different parts of your website. I especially love putting a little short 30-second video anytime that you have a call to action on your website. You know, a place that people fill out a form to contact you, for example, or a place that people want to register for your email newsletter, for example. That little short video, 30 seconds, 20 seconds, simply tells them what will happen when they fill out that little form. And don't worry, we're not going to spam you. Here's what's going to happen. That's the first way to use video. The second way is to use video in the social networks, but don't link to something on another video site like YouTube, but rather upload your video to that social networking site like LinkedIn. It gets tremendous exposure because the social networks love to have video uploaded. And then the third way is do what Haggerty and many other companies have done, which is to create that YouTube channel to get your ideas out into the marketplace.
Yeah, it's not either or, is it? I mean, it's the combination. There's times when to have a bit of a more highly produced video, but really we're just as much, as long as we can see and hear you, just that sort of, so we can see the whites of your eyes, that's more and more powerful. And as you and I always talked over the journey, it's about that humanizing the brand and bringing the founders and the leaders out from the shadows of the boardroom and get them out there. And we relate to that. But what you're saying is there's that science that underpins that as well.
Yeah, that's the part that was so interesting to us is there's the neuroscience that explains why it's so powerful. And so I think right now during the pandemic, incredibly important to begin doing video if you're not doing it already, but it's
Yep.
going to continue. It's not a short thing to do now and then stop doing. I mean, video is very, very powerful for all the reasons we just talked about.
Yeah. Just shift gears for a tick there, David. You mentioned in the title of the new rules book, AI. Where are you seeing AI
Yeah.
fit? Because it's just such a beast and it's ever changing. But from a marketing and PR perspective, where are you seeing AI fit?
I think that it's really interesting when you can use some AI to do very repetitive things that require a whole bunch of data, things that would be very difficult to, if not impossible, to do manually. So, artificial intelligence and machine learning are two different terms, but pretty much interchangeable unless you're a real geek about it, can be used, for example, to test different calls to action on web offers. Especially if you run a really big site, A/B testing is fairly simple, but how about ABCDEFG testing? Over multiple different variables. That can be done using technology, using math, essentially.
Yeah.
Things like looking at what's going on with your competitors. There's different engines you can use using AI to do that. So a number of things that are repetitive that a machine can do better than a person. However, I don't believe that marketing and public relations are fields that will be taken over by machines. I still think that it requires people, a lot of people, storytellers, marketers, people who understand how to develop fans. And so unlike some industries that could be completely taken over by machines, I do not think that's going to happen for marketing.
Yeah,
I think that these are tools to help us.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And I think that the thing is you use the AI to do the things that you shouldn't be doing so you can focus on being creative and getting close to your customers as you've been mentioning. David, just one other thing before we go. So if the main theme now is that fans, but is there something else that, like if you've got new companies starting and okay, they put their audience first and they're trying to go down that path about all the things that you're saying, let's build the fans and stuff. Tactically, what is the one of the better things that they can be looking at that will take time, but they probably need to start doing it?
Yeah, one of the most surprising things that my daughter Reiko and I learned is the idea of passion.
Yep.
Passion, a simple concept. It's not a marketing concept. It's a human concept. When you're passionate about what you do, it shines through. And people are attracted to those people that have passion.
Yep.
And we have something really interesting. It's not just passionate about your business. It's what you're passionate about in your personal life as well. I've been talking about the fact that I'm a live music fan in my professional life for many years. And now people know that I'm a live music fan. They love the fact that I'm passionate about live music. So celebrate what you love. Celebrate the fact that you're passionate about your work and about your personal life, the things that you love to do on your off time.
Yeah, terrific. Great advice. All righty, well, these are the two books that we've been talking about. The New Rules of Marketing and PR, that's the 6th edition. And I hope I've picked up. You're very partial to blue, obviously, David. Every book's blue.
Yeah, I don't know what it is with blue. It's actually two different publishers as well, and they both came up with blue. So there you go. Who knows?
There you go. There must be something in it. And Fanocracy, I've read it in recent months, and a really great book. So much appreciate
Thank you very much.
Your time today, David, and good luck with the new books.
Thank you, Trevor. It's been really great to be connected with you for more than a decade. I value your leadership, and I'm really looking forward to seeing you again in person. It's been a couple of years since we've seen each other in person.
Thanks very much, David.